First time Clara Bennett saw Ryder, he was standing beneath the weathered porch of Silver Creek Ranch, his black hat pulled low against the afternoon sun. Dust clung to his boots, his sleeves were rolled to his elbows, and there was something about the quiet way he carried himself that made Clara stop halfway up the steps. "You're the new bookkeeper?" he asked. "Clara Bennett." His dark eyes met hers, lingering just long enough to make her wonder if she had imagined it before he looked away. "You shouldn't be here after sundown." Clara raised an eyebrow. "Is that a warning?" "Advice." She smiled. "I don't scare easily." Something almost like amusement crossed his face. "You should." Over the next few days, Clara learned that Cole was the ranch's most dependable cowboy. He could break a wild horse, repair a broken fence, and settle an argument without raising his voice. He was also stubborn, private, and apparently determined to keep everyone at arm's length. Especially her. Every time Clara caught him watching her, he looked away. Every time she approached, he suddenly found work that needed doing. She refused to be intimidated. One evening, a storm gathered over the plains. Clara walked toward the barn and found Cole combing a restless stallion. Lightning flashed beyond the open doors, briefly outlining his powerful frame. "You always this serious?" she asked. He glanced at her. "Usually." "That's unfortunate." A quiet laugh escaped him. Clara smiled. "There. You can smile. Don't get used to it." She stepped closer. "Why do you keep avoiding me?" Cole's expression changed. "Because you're trouble." "Maybe I like trouble." Clara. Her name sounded different when he said it, lower, almost reluctant. She held his gaze. "What?" Cole took one slow step toward her. "You don't know what you're playing with." Her heart fluttered, but she refused to retreat. "Maybe I do." For several seconds, neither moved. Then thunder cracked overhead, and Cole finally stepped back. "You should go inside." Clara smiled as she turned away. "Good night, cowboy." Behind her, Cole watched until she disappeared into the rain. For the first time in years, he wondered if keeping someone at a distance might be harder than letting them close. The next morning, Clara discovered that Ryder was very good at avoiding people. Unfortunately for him, she was even better at noticing. He had barely spoken to her over breakfast. When she entered the kitchen, he suddenly remembered a fence that needed repairing. When she walked toward the barn, he took his horse to the opposite pasture. By lunchtime, Clara had decided that his mysterious disappearing act was becoming ridiculous. She found him near the corral, tightening the leather on a saddle. "You're avoiding me." Cole didn't look up. "No. You are." "I'm working." "You've been working since sunrise." "That's what happens on a ranch." Clara folded her arms. "You didn't even look at me this morning." His hands stopped. Slowly, Cole lifted his head. "That was intentional." She blinked. "At least you're honest." He walked toward her, stopping only a few feet away. "You should listen to me, Clara." "I have been." "No. You hear my words, but you don't understand them." "Then explain." Cole glanced toward the empty pasture before returning his attention to her. "I don't want to hurt you." The teasing expression disappeared from Clara's face. "You think you could?" "I know I could." His voice was quiet, but there was no doubt in it. Clara studied him. For the first time, she realized that his distance wasn't arrogance. It was restraint. "You're afraid," she whispered. His jaw tightened. Of you? No. Then what? Of what happens if I stop holding back? Her heartbeat quickened. Cole took another step closer. You've been here barely a week, and you've already gotten under my skin. I think about you when I wake up. I look for you when I walk into a room. And every time you smile at me, I forget every reason I've ever had to keep my distance. Clara's breath caught. Cole. He stepped back as though he'd revealed too much. That's why I'm staying away. She watched him walk toward the barn. You know, she called after him, running away doesn't make the feeling disappear. He stopped but didn't turn around. I know. Then he continued walking. Clara stood alone beside the corral, her heart racing. She had expected the cowboy to be difficult. She hadn't expected him to be fighting the same battle she was. And suddenly, she knew she wasn't ready to let him win. That evening, Silver Creek Ranch came alive with music, laughter, and the warm glow of lanterns hanging from the old barn beams. The cattle sale had gone better than expected, and for once, even the hardest-working cowboys had agreed to put their chores aside and celebrate. Clara wore a simple blue dress, but the moment she stepped into the barn, she noticed Cole watching her from across the room. He quickly looked away. She smiled to herself. Apparently, the man who could face a wild stallion without blinking still couldn't look at her for more than a few seconds. She spent the next hour talking with the ranch hands, laughing at their stories, but every now and then, her eyes found Cole. He stood near the open barn doors, a glass in his hand, looking as though he were waiting for an excuse to escape. Eventually, Clara decided to give him one. She walked outside. A few moments later, she heard boots behind her. You shouldn't be out here alone, Cole said. She turned around. You followed me. I was checking on you. Of course you were. His mouth twitched. You're enjoying this. Maybe. The music drifted through the open doors behind them. Above the ranch, the sky stretched endlessly, scattered with stars. Cole leaned against the fence. You've been watching me all night. So have you. He looked at her. That's different. How? Because I know what I'm thinking. Clara stepped closer. And what are you thinking? Cole's expression became serious. That you should go back inside. She laughed softly. You really do have only one answer. Clara. What? Don't push me. She stopped, but she didn't step away. I thought you said you weren't afraid of me. I'm not afraid. Then what is it? Cole looked toward the dark fields. Wanting someone can make a man forget his good sense. Her heart skipped. And you think I'm making you forget yours? I know you are. The honesty in his voice sent a shiver through her. She moved closer until only inches separated them. You've spent days telling me to stay away. Because it's the right thing. And if I don't want the right thing? His eyes met hers. Then you're making this very difficult. Clara smiled. You warned me you were trouble. I am. You warned me you were too much. Cole gave a quiet, humorless laugh. I probably am. She reached for his hand. He didn't pull away. Instead, his fingers closed around hers. I'm too big for you, he warned softly, his voice carrying more meaning than the words alone. Too stubborn. Too complicated. And if I let myself want you, Clara, I don't know how easily I'll be able to walk away. She held his gaze. Then don't walk away. For a long moment, the cowboy said nothing. Clara leaned closer and whispered, Try me tonight. Cole's expression softened. That's a dangerous challenge. Maybe I'm ready for dangerous. He smiled, finally surrendering to the moment. Then stay. And beneath the Texas stars, neither of them ran from what they felt. By sunrise, Clara knew something between her and Cole had changed. The ranch was quiet beneath the pale morning sky. A cool breeze moved across the fields, carrying the smell of hay and damp earth. Clara stepped onto the porch with a cup of coffee and found Cole standing near the fence, staring toward the distant hills. For a moment, she simply watched him. The guarded cowboy who had spent days warning her away now looked strangely peaceful. She walked toward him. "Regretting it?" she asked. Cole turned. "Not for a second." Clara smiled. "Good." He studied her for several seconds before taking her hand. "But I've got a problem." "What kind of problem?" "You." She laughed softly. "That's not exactly new." Cole smiled, then grew serious. "I've spent years convincing myself I didn't need anyone." Clara's expression softened. "And now?" "Now I can't imagine this place without you." The words caught her completely off guard. "Cole. I mean it." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small silver ring. Clara stared at it. "This isn't what I think it is." "It could be." She looked from the ring to his face. "Are you asking me to stay?" Cole shook his head. "No." Her heart sank for half a second. Then he smiled. "I'm asking you to build something with me." Clara looked at the ring again. "You barely know me." "I know enough. You know I'm stubborn." "I noticed." "You know I don't like being told what to do." That was impossible to miss. She laughed through the tears gathering in her eyes. "And you still want me?" Cole stepped closer. "More than I expected." She looked across the ranch, remembering the first day she'd arrived. She had come to Silver Creek expecting nothing more than a job, a quiet place to start over, and perhaps a few months away from the noise of her old life. She had never expected Cole. Never expected his rough hands, guarded heart, or the tenderness hidden beneath all that strength. Most of all, she had never expected him to make her feel at home. Clara reached for his hand. "You warned me you were trouble." "I am." "You warned me you were too much." "I probably am." She smiled. "And somehow, I still want you." Cole pulled her gently into his arms. "Then I guess we're both crazy." Clara rested her head against his chest. "No. I think we're finally honest." He kissed her forehead as the first rays of sunlight spread across the ranch. For years, Cole had believed love meant giving someone the power to hurt him. Clara had taught him something different. Sometimes love meant finding the courage to stop running. And as they stood together beneath the morning sky, Cole finally knew one thing for certain. Silver Creek wasn't just a ranch anymore. It was home. And Clara was the woman he wanted beside him for whatever came next.